What is your view? Is it better to pull out of an agreement that Iran is in compliance with if we can't fix it, or is it better to stay in the agreement? Yes or no?
No, Senator, it's not a yes or no question because it's a hypothetical. We're not at that point. Let me tell you,
the president has to certify on May the 12th.
Yes, sir. That's yet almost a month away. If there's no chance that we can fix it, I will recommend to the president that we do our level best to work with our allies to achieve a better outcome and a better deal.
That's Senator Ben Cardin questioning Secretary of State nominee Mike Pompeo on his stance on the Iran deal. This is White House officials are set to meet soon to discuss the situation in Syria as the administration now says it is confident that Syria used chemical weapons. Let's bring in retired four-star General Jack Keane, a Fox News senior strategic analyst. I'll start with Iran, sir. So we are a month from today when the president has to make a decision about recertifying the Iran deal. Lots of questions about this for Mike Pompeo today. He's leaving himself a little wiggle room. What's he trying to signal there?
Well, first of all, we are going to work with our allies who are signatories to the deal. And we've done some spade work already with them, and we know a few things. Here's what we're trying to do, to be specific. One is we want to add ballistic missiles as a prohibition to the deal. Two, we want to add the military secret sites and have access by inspectors to the deal. And our European allies will go along with that. But the third thing is we want to eliminate the so-called sunset clauses. For the sake of our audience, in 10 years down the road from the initiation of the deal, the Iranians can move to a threshold nuclear capability. 15 years down the road, there's a clear pathway to a nuclear weapon. We want to change that and fix that. The Europeans will not agree to do that, Dana. And if that holds over the next 30 days, then the United States, come May 12th, will pull out of this deal.
Meantime, Secretary Mattis has said that the United States does confirm that chemical weapons were used in Syria. There is a question, as Jennifer Griffin was just explaining, about how exactly they were released and who was responsible. If you could listen to the French President, Emmanuel Macron, on what he says he knows.
We have proof that last week, now nearly 10 days ago, that chemical weapons were used, at least chlorine, and that they were used by Bashar al-Assad's regime. We have to remove the means of using chemical weapons from the regime. We will have decisions to make. In due time, we will judge what is the most useful and most efficient.
Based on your experience, sir, take us behind the scenes and what's happening now as the president is getting recommendations from his military advisors.
Yeah, well, first of all, when it comes to who did this, we know exactly who did it because we have AWACS airplanes, which is a radar aircraft that tracks all flights. If you're going down a runway in Syria, we see that. If you take off a helicopter from a runway, we see it. We track the entire flight. When they deliver ordnance to the target, we know that's taken place. So we know that a Syrian regime helicopter flew over this area and delivered ordnance. We don't know what was inside that ordnance. We know from what happened to the victims and studying the pictures of the victims and compare them to other victims who had exposure to chlorine and nerve gas that it's likely that these agents were indeed used. So that's why there's this degree of confidence about what has taken place. What's going on right now with the president and his national security team is they're deciding on two things. Number one, the scope of the response by the United States and our coalition partners. In other words, how big, how comprehensive, what's the scale of this thing going to be? And number two, the timing of it. And right now we're positioning assets also. But I think the assets are likely to be pretty close to being in place. So now we're just waiting for a presidential decision.
All right. That is helpful for us to understand what's going on. General Jack Keane, thank you.
Good talking to you, Dana.